An entitled girl parked in my driveway and said it wasn't her problem, so I made it her only problem for 4 days. The cops watched me hold a college girl prisoner in my own driveway and told her it was her own fault. My driveway is this narrow concrete cage between stone walls. Once you're in and I park behind you, you're not leaving until I say so. 3 years of entitled kids using it as free parking. I'd been patient. Then some BMW princess showed up Friday night and gave me the opportunity I didn't know I was waiting for. I came home from work exhausted, ready to collapse, only to find her car crammed up against my garage door. Not just parked, wedged in like she'd claimed the deed to my property. The private driveway, no parking sign might as well have been written in Sanskrit. I sighed, parked behind her, effectively sealing her fate, and went inside. 3 years of being the understanding neighbor had officially ended. Around 10 p.m., someone pounded on my door like they were serving a warrant. I opened it to find a girl in a crop top and baggy jeans, phone in one hand, car keys jangling in the other. No apology, no greeting, just demanding I move my car immediately. The entitlement in her voice made my eye twitch. I pointed out she was parked in my driveway. She actually rolled her eyes and said she needed to leave, like I was the one inconveniencing her. When I repeated that she'd parked on my property, she snapped her fingers at me. Actually snapped them, like I was her personal valet. I told her I'm in for the night and I'd move it in the morning. Her face twisted into this disgusted expression before she said the 4 words that sealed her fate. That's not my problem. Those words flipped a switch in my brain. 3 years of patience, 3 years of being reasonable, 3 years of kids will be kids excuses. But dismissing her trespassing as my problem to solve, I watched her storm off, already dialing someone on her phone. Through my window, I saw her pacing in my driveway, gesturing wildly. Then the red and blue lights appeared. Perfect. I was ready to play this game. I grabbed a beer from my fridge and walked out to meet the officer, taking a long sip as I approached. The tired-looking cop glanced between me, the beer, and the girl who was now shrieking about being trapped. I explained the situation calmly. Private property, her car trespassing, and now I'd been drinking, so I couldn't legally move my car. The officer took one look at the narrow driveway, the retaining walls, the complete impossibility of towing without property damage. He told her she'd parked on private property, and he couldn't ask me to drive under the influence, then left. I glanced at the calendar visible through my kitchen doorway. Labor Day weekend, 3 beautiful days stretching ahead. So I went out and informed her I'd be drinking all weekend since it was a holiday, but she could get her car Tuesday when I went back to work. The shriek that came out of her mouth probably woke dogs 3 blocks away. She mentioned having classes Tuesday. I just shrugged and threw her own words back at her. That's not my problem. She tried everything. More cops Saturday morning, same result. Tow trucks took one look and left. Her friends came begging. One mentioned it was daddy's BMW. Sunday they got creative and ordered 20 pizzas to my house. I thanked the confused delivery guy, tipped him well, and had pizza for weeks. One guy claimed his dad was a lawyer and another offered me $200, but I just kept sipping my beer, watching the show from my porch like it was Netflix. By Sunday, word had spread through the neighborhood. My elderly neighbor brought me cookies, said it was about time someone taught these kids a lesson. Groups of college kids would walk by like my driveway was a tourist attraction. The girls' friends kept showing up in shifts, like they were running some kind of hostage negotiation. Tuesday morning, 7 a.m., I looked out my window. There she was, sitting on my front steps in wrinkled clothes, looking like she'd been there all night. We made eye contact as I walked out in my work attire. Her eyes lit up with hope. She actually stood up, probably thinking her nightmare was finally ending. Then the car pulled up. I hopped right in my Uber because I wasn't in the mood to drive that day. The look on her face, pure, crushing defeat. No words needed. She knew exactly what I was doing. I'd won without throwing a punch, without yelling, without breaking a single law. Just a long weekend of malicious compliance. That same evening I had a date, first one in months actually, and needed my car for that. So when I got back around midnight, still grinning from what turned out to be the best night I'd had in forever, the BMW was gone. Just tire marks on the concrete and a faint smell of burnt rubber where she must have peeled out. I never found out what happened to her after that and never saw her again. But for the rest of my time in that house, my driveway stayed completely empty. Party nights, football weekends, graduation week, it didn't matter. They still party on my old street every weekend, but that driveway remains untouchable.